dirty word that nobody wants to speak about in America is a word known as poverty, economic apartheid, cooked in the cesspool of racism and the original sin of the United States of America, that we have placed some people in the 12th circle of hell, just like in Dante's Inferno. The policies created by both parties have instituted the greatest transfer of wealth from the poor to the richest in the last several decades. The question is, does the Bible speak to this? Some will raise the question, why should these people who should be sitting in those hallowed halls of religious shrines, why should they speak to these things? But if one is a person of spirituality connected to a God who placed God's fingerprint upon each of us, we recognize that we must speak for the most vulnerable. And if you want to understand a priority in a country, just look at the country's budget and the country's taxes, because then you will understand that some people have more value than other people, and other people have no value at all. But does the Bible speak to these challenges? Well, I'm glad you asked that question, because my man by the name of Jesus was on this, talking to this religious lawyer who attempted to trap him with his elocutionary skills. But Jesus is so smooth that he knows how to talk to people who try to trap him with all of their elocutionary skills. And so he decides to tell a wonderful parable known as the Good Samaritan. Many of us have heard many times before, but let me break it down in a different way so you understand what is being said. That there are three people in this parable, and these three people respond differently to someone who is in need. There is a priest who responds one way, there is a Levite who responds another way, and there is a Samaritan who responds one way. You see within this parable, the one who is the religious person, the one I guess you could call the preacher from LA, as he was walking through, he notices something, that someone has been hurt, and instead of checking on this person who is vulnerable, he crosses to the other side. Because sometimes your religion restricts your relevancy because you have religion and not spirituality. Because you may have religion, but you do not have spirituality. And here is one who is supposed to represent God, but he is not at this moment wanting to assist this person, because in the words of Dr. King, he raised the question, what will happen to me if I help him? But the question that should be raised, what will happen to him if I do not help him? And so he avoids the problem, though he probably knows the scriptures, though he can probably shout, though he can lift up holy hands, he avoids the problem because he does not want to engage in what is happening in the community.